This is a video in which I'll be ranking the different characters of a movie that goes by the name Thunderbolts, New Avengers, both, kinda. Anyway, though, in the video I'll be ranking how much I like the different characters, how much I dislike them, and my general opinions of the movie overall. So yeah, a lot of spoilers ahead, but let's get to it. I mean, you can definitely argue about some of these being different characters, which we'll get to later. But yeah, basically all the Thunderbolts and this lady. When it comes to the tier list itself, pretty straightforward. I have Incredible Hulk, good, okay, there. And you're wondering why there is two Hulk. Incredible Hulk is pretty straightforward. He's my favorite Marvel character just in general. As Hulk is, it is this and this and this as well. You get the point. This. Smart Hulk was, and is going to continue on being a mistake. But regardless, you know what, I'll probably not even put anyone there. Yeah, we can make an entire video about how much I hate that specific thing. Alright, where do I begin, what do I do? Obviously there isn't that many characters, which I do appreciate that the movie doesn't have an insane amount of cameos? Speech. But the point is, these are basically all the characters that matter even remotely. The only one that isn't here that was also kind of important is the assistant of this evil lady. But I guess I'm not gonna be searching an image of her, I don't even know her name. So just place her at there, I guess. I don't have any strong opinions on her. Actually, just because I'm mentioning her, the assistant of the evil lady. I do have something specifically I don't like about her, and that is whenever she kinda causes the void to happen. Just gonna get this small thing that really annoys me out of the way. I'm not sure how they're gonna be depicting Sentry in the future, or the void for that matter, when it comes to his sensory abilities. But no, by the time the lady enters through the elevator or the stairs, however she did it, picks up the device and tries to press the button, Sentry would have already looked at her, realized that she was there, and taken care of her very easily. But regardless, just small thing that annoyed me. And maybe in this universe, I'm not sure how many powers they're giving to Sentry. But yeah, once again, I'll get to him whenever I get to him. For now, her assistant goes up there, even though I have a picture of her. So sure. Now, who do I begin with? I'm talking about characters that were there, I guess. Taskmaster. I almost want to place you here, but I'll be fair, I said I'm placing nothing here, and truthfully, I hate nothing to the same extent as I hate Smart Hulk. So Taskmaster just gets killed off. And in a meta way, it's kind of hilarious that she just gets killed, and even more so that she is also invited to, I think, what was it? I don't know, I just saw a random clip of all the Thunderbolts, I think making the reveal of the new title of the movie being New Avengers, and this lady was there, which there's that feeling of something being incredibly sad and also funny at the same time. So yeah, just Taskmaster was there, she got unceremoniously killed and basically never mentioned again. So as I said, it's one of those weird things where as a character there is all I can say, but as a purpose in the story of her just getting killed, I guess maybe the idea of the movie was to kinda up the stakes, although I think, I don't know. From my perspective it's kinda hilarious, but as a character I guess just there. Whenever I do a tier list I do like going in order of the worst to best. Next, where do I go? I guess if I'm going from worst to best, actually, you know what, yeah, shockingly enough, evil bad lady, you're worse than Taskmaster. And it's not even obviously enough. I think it's Valentina, right? I mean, I can Google it, but I don't care enough for her to do it, so sure, her. I do think she's objectively the worst part of the movie, and the assistant, I guess if I would place the assistant, I would place her above her as well. She would be the second worst, so sure. And then Taskmaster is going to be the best of the worst. I don't think I'm placing anyone else here. I don't think so, but anyway, yeah. Valentina. The reason I'm placing her so low is because she was just genuinely unimpressive, and I really don't think I'm the only one who feels that way. For whatever reason, after getting impeached, she decides to use Sentry as her redemption to compensate for all of her mistakes, but it feels so ridiculously unplanned. It also feels stupid, because yes, I understand that Sentry was not supposed to be as strong as he got. The reason why he's so incredibly powerful is completely accidental. They didn't intend on creating this. Well, they didn't intend on making specifically Bob the strongest Avenger. Well, I guess now, yeah, sure. But yeah, the strongest hero on this world. But after discovering how ridiculously powerful he is and manipulating him a little, it just, everything there felt rushed. So I'm kind of gonna give all my issues that I have with Sentry to her. I don't like any of her plans. I think nothing she did really makes sense. And I don't even think she was really built up properly to be the main villain, because she is the main villain of the movie. Realistic. I mean, yeah, I guess whenever I get to him, I'll get to him, but generally, as an actual antagonistic threat, it is her. And even the very end of the movie, where she says these are the new Avengers and she gathered that whole crowd, ignoring of how she was actually able to do that, that's just in general scene that I'm once again gonna give to her specifically, that I actually hated, because I feel like the writers just wanna make her look more competent than she looks like she is. Because what I think would happen is, after she makes, oh, these guys are the new Avengers, what they should do, and I feel like, I guess this could be a criticism towards all of them, but well, I'll just throw it onto her. They should just go on ahead, and some of them should just want to go on ahead and kill her. Some detain her, or maybe just maim her a little bit and then detain her. Many different options. But yeah, no, Yelena saying at the end that they own her, I feel like it's actually the complete opposite by you deciding to go ahead and play with her. So yeah, it's a thing where a lot of the problems I have really are connected to Val. Funnily enough, it just feels like the plot itself is shifting in a way that it's trying to make me think that she's something that she isn't, like competent or even remotely. I mean, she is the driving force, she is the reason that basically everything happens, and yeah, no, just any of the big problems I have with the movie, I don't find much of a positive in any way when it comes to her. I think Sentry should have just killed her, and probably will be much better. But in any case, we'll see how it's gonna go. If there is one reason that I would say that she deserves to be at the very bottom of this list, is because she is still relevant. And because, as I said, I have the feeling that they're gonna try to make her more relevant than she has any right to be, I am going to dislike it even more. So overall, I don't like what she did in the movie, I don't like what she has done in the past, and I have very negative expectations of her in the future. Yep, that's it. Worst part of the movie. Next though, let's move on to, as I said, Ghost. Ghost is going to go with okay, and she's going that high because, I'll be completely honest, without her we have just so many super soldiers that just people that punch and shoot, as it was said. I guess she's the only one that got a kill, isn't she? Sure, well, of a relevant character, I suppose. But even though she has a cool power, that's also something that I'm actually not sure. How do Ghost's powers work exactly? Because intangibility can be ridiculously powerful. She actually could be useful against a fight against Sentry. I mean, granted, there's always the super speed thing, but ignoring that, I'm just not sure that even the creators of the movie were sure what they wanted to do with her. But for me, powers are an important aspect, and even though I don't feel much for her as a character, I actually like her power. I think she's pretty useful, and hey, she absolutely could be essential for future fights, and as long as they actually, I don't know, maybe put some thought into it, they could make her a very enjoyable person to watch. Now, I have a strong suspicion she might be just killed off in the next Avengers movie, which is something that I do think I should talk about, and yeah, I'll be talking about my general expectations of the future. Frankly, that's one of the biggest reasons why Val is so well, because I have a strong suspicion that she's just going to drag everything. If she's in any way important for the future, that's just going to be even more disappointing for me. So yeah, but Ghost, because of her power, I think she has potential. I really don't care for her. I just don't, but I like the power of intangibility, so there is something there. I really don't want to place you as well as I'm about to. And I'm not. But I have some things to say, but for later. I'm just gonna place the Red Guardian at the very top of okay. Because he's just the comedic relief. And that's fine. But, and just I guess that's something I would love more of Marvel in general. Just little more serious moments. Just linger on the emotional moments a little tiny bit longer. It greatly enhances both the overall experience and specifically the comedy, because there is a good contrast. So yeah, just placing him there because even though I think he has a pretty amazing moment, that frankly the specific moment of obviously of the father-daughter conversation is so liked that even people that genuinely despise the movie, think it's complete trash, say that this is a good scene. So I think that just proves how much some sincerity can add to a fun movie. Bucky, the Winter Soldier, he really should have had more moments with him. Come on, they have such an obvious connection. And their interactions, even though I want to place Bucky here, I'm just gonna place him here because objectively speaking, nothing bad was done to him. I don't feel like his character was diminished, but I feel like nothing was also added really to him, this in my opinion. So he's just good. But the reason why I'm not putting him at the very top is quite simple. As I said, just like with Red Guardian, so much missed potential. And specifically with Red Guardian, the two of them together communicating and having a serious conversation about their past, their perspective of where they have served and what they have been fighting for. Just, it feels so ridiculously important, and it feels like it can go in so many directions. I don't know whether you know of it, but there was a What If animated series, Marvel, where it was the Red Guardian and the Winter Soldier kind of going on a mission together. And even though it's once again all those super funny things, it wasn't that serious, etc. Just the very idea of a more serious version of that in a movie, just me imagining it makes me super excited. I won't focus on the two negative things. Point is, there is a lot of missed potential between these two characters, and because they're on the same team, there's potential for it to happen in the future. I find it incredibly unlikely, but it is there. Yelena, I'm saying it right? I think so.
Later.
Very interested in talking about these three, but before, John Walker, also known as US Agent. And I just remembered something very specific now that I'm thinking about him. You're not sure, if it's for this specific tier list, you can go at the very top, John Walker. You're probably gonna be at the bottom of the top, but sure, for a couple of reasons. Because he actually seemed competent. He was not the butt of the joke of every single moment. Now don't get me wrong, obviously not there are jokes at his expense, which is fine. There is jokes at everyone's expense, which is something that actually I think the movie did fine. It's okay to actually make fun of a character as long as it makes sense. Now, Red Guardian, in my opinion, was made fun of a little too much and he seemed a little too incompetent. But John Walker, he was very heroic. I think he specifically saved, I can't remember, but there was also the moment in the car where he basically saved everyone. Also the time where he lifted the giant, I guess, rock that was falling over someone. And that was one of the things I wanted to mention, where it's kind of hilarious that obviously everyone comes in to help, and Yelena and Ghost I think are also there, which, let's be fair, it's cool that you help, it's symbolic, I understand it, working together, trying to help out, but yeah, let's be fair, Ghost and Yelena were not helping. It was just the three super soldiers, which is fine, but in any case, just being heroic, helping people, and I guess once again another thing where I would love to see more of him, and that is kind of an overall thing I feel, which is supposed to be positive, right? If I feel like I want to see more of these characters, I want to see more of their, I guess, arcs, what they intend to do with them. I just think he was fun, and he had a couple good moments where he was able to help out. However, the reason why I'm gonna place him at the very top is specifically because of Ghost. And as I mentioned, I can't even say it straight. I can't even say the sentence because it feels so unbelievably wrong. You could have said that in so many different ways. Say that you used the shield of one of the greatest American icons to execute a terrorist on live TV. And that alone should be a bad thing. That alone is enough to make it so that we understand that what he did was not the best decision he could have made. But saying that he executed an innocent man. Ghost, just that sentence alone kinda makes me want to put you down. But your power is the only reason why you stay here. Just be aware of that. And precisely because I feel very annoyed of it, I'm placing him up there. Yeah, no, I can't express how stupid that sentence is in this video because this could be an hour of how ridiculous I think that single sentence is. Now, moving on from that horrible line, that's disgusting, I don't even want to think about it. Why have I split Bob in 3 different things? Because that's how it feels like the movie is treating it. And I'll clarify something. What I know of Sentry, just in general, technically this should be only 2, not 3. But in the movie, if there is something negative I do have to say, is that it feels like Bob goes to the Sentry persona, which honestly is one of my personal favorite fight scene in the movie, a little too quickly. And I'm not sure whether the movie is telling me that there's actually 3 people in Bob's body or there is only 2, the Void and him. I feel slightly confused on that. I'm pretty positive it's supposed to be just the 2 of them, but because I feel unclear on it, I'm gonna be rating Sentry separately. Sure. And because I left them for last, you can guess that I very much so appreciate them. So, how much do I appreciate them though? I guess I'll put Sentry at the very, very top of good. Because, couple of small things, once again, I'm not really sure whether they're going with him being a 3rd personality or just Bob changing after he realizes he has so much power. I really feel like the movie was not as clear as I would have liked on that. I also really don't like how everything happens so quickly in the movie. Once again, Sentry is something you could have built up the entire phase to. It really could have been. So I'm just gonna put him here because he has the absolute coolest fight scene where he embarrasses the Thunderbolts. In the movie, Sentry demonstrates super speed, strength, flight. I believe he has heat control. I'm pretty positive that's everything he has. I'm not sure because whenever he touches them during the fight, he doesn't get the Bob effect where he gives them bad stuff, which is the Void effect technically, which also is another reason why I feel like it's different, but I'm not sure in what direction and how they're gonna decide to split the powers. Still, Sentry had absolutely the best fight, and I do appreciate that even though he became basically God as he himself said it, he still decided to spare those guys because he liked them. He was absolutely not evil in his Sentry form, is the thing I'm getting at. Even though I don't like how quickly he got on Val's side, which once again, everything that has to do with her just brings down the movie. But yeah, he was cool. And Bob, Bob. Yeah, the joke of constantly calling him Bob. Yes, Bob is a simple name, and they didn't feel like using Robert, but sure. I like him. That's all I can say. He was a pleasant person that always, struggled quite a lot whenever they showed us his backstory. And even the very ending scene where Yelena was having him and he was trying to beat up the Void. And that's also, I guess, a small issue I do have with the ending. I completely understand that they shouldn't go with just completely destroying your darkness and fighting it. Kind of makes things even worse, kind of letting darkness win. I understand that. I just feel like you could have kind of mixed things together where the friends, the people around you help you out, but you also should still fight your darkness. You should try and control it or keep it in check. So ideally for me, the very ending could be slightly improved by just kind of mixing up the bad ending they were trying to avoid with Bob becoming the Void by beating his shadow, kinda. Just slightly change things where he should fight it, but also his friends are one of the biggest reasons why he can persevere and easily control it. Just something in that manner. I feel like there is many ways in which it could be represented better. Still, I just like him. He was a fun part that made a lot of sense to be actually comical, while also being a fun mystery for people who did not know that he's going to be Sentry and basically the most important part. But yeah, just every moment, very enjoyable, so I can't really place him anywhere below. Yeah, I guess I do enjoy it. It's weird, because even though I'm technically rating them separately, it's kind of the overall experience, so yeah, I kinda really do want to place him here, but hey. You know what, yeah, I did say that. I said that all the negative stuff with how fast things developed, with Sentry in particular, that I didn't like, I'm placing it on her, this lady. She's responsible that I didn't like it as much as I should have, so you know what, you go up there. You had the best fight. And talking about fights, the Void. The Void is going to go... You know what, yeah, the Void goes at the bottom of the Incredible Hulk tier. And I will be completely honest of why that's the case. I understand that many people probably wouldn't have been fine with him becoming a good guy after he ended so many lives, if all the Shadow people were dead. But at the same time, I'm not hearing that complaint so much about her. And I feel like it's so stupid. I feel like... that's one of the things where I feel like everyone who defends this character in particular is just either blinded by how much they like other aspects of the movie, or just really wants to simp for Marvel. I can completely understand why some people genuinely dislike this movie, specifically because she's kind of the linchpin to a lot of the plots, and basically not every issue, but I would say 90% of all the issues I have, she's specifically responsible for them, or at the very least she's in the scenes that those issues are happening. So yeah, I really dislike her, as I already made it clear. But the Void. I mean, I understand it thematically, and I absolutely understand that the Void is supposed to represent the psychological pain you've experienced. And he's the evil version of you that wants to plunge everything into darkness so that everyone is just as sad as him. Considering how overpowered he is, I feel like there should have been many more casualties. And personally for me, because I hope they're going with the thing of the Void being an entirely different entity, I would be fine with Bob then joining the New Avengers and kind of being the Hulk of the group, which is, once again, the reason why Hulk is one of my personal favorite characters, is the contrast of being this creature that is perceived from others' perspective as a complete monster, complete force of nature that everyone is afraid of, but still wants to help everyone and fights his urges in order to be useful for everyone else. But yeah, not gonna get too much into why I love the Hulk, specific version of the Hulk, but I like the Sentry in particular precisely because of his duality. Can absolutely take the position of being one of my favorite Marvel characters. It really depends on how it is executed. I understand once again why the Void didn't kill as many people as he could have, because yes, he could have massacred everyone there and it wouldn't have been even remotely close, but I'm still putting him at the very top because this is another thing that should be mentioned again, and it should be very important in the future. And I'm very curious whether they're gonna be keeping him after the reboot reset that they're gonna be doing after the Avengers movie. Because Sentry is a super powerful character, but then again, once we have all the mutants, Fantastic Four, and probably other characters in the same world, it's going to be a crazy place to live in, so I'm very excited to see how Sentry would fit in there. The only logical thing I'm seeing right now is, just like the Incredible Hulk, the emergency button that is used to save everyone, but everyone is also kind of terrified that it could backfire horribly for everyone. I guess that's that. I really do enjoy the movie, but excluding a very specific character, I feel like the biggest reason I'm enjoying it is the potential it actually has introduced of me actually trying to care for these people, and I also wonder what other new members can be added to this team just to diversify the powers a little tiny bit. Feel free to tell me how you feel about my ranking, whether you put some characters lower, higher, and please do subscribe and I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did.